This is a video for discoverdigitalphotography.com. I'm just going to show you how you can get a photo with both a white background and also the subject well lit when you've only got one light to work with. What it revolves around is taking two photos, one where you've got the background well lit like this, and then another where you've got the subject well lit. You then take both of these photos into your photo editing program. So I'm using Photoshop Elements here for the example. So I've got both the photos open. I'm going to go to View, Window, Images, Tile, so I can see them both. And then clicking on the background layer, I've got the Layers palette open down here, and holding down the Shift key, I'm going to click on the background layer and drag it from this image and then drop it down onto the other image. And you can see in this image now we've got two layers, the original photo and then the other photo that's been layered on top of it. So we can close our other photo that we've dragged into this one now. Right, so we've got the two photos. All we do is change the blend mode up here from normal to lighten, and what that does is any tones in this photo that are lighter than the ones in this background photo will show up. Any tones that are the same or darker in this photo won't show up. So because the background is white on here and the background's darker on this one, they're not showing up, but because the toy is lighter, it is showing up. So it's quite simple like that. You can see there's a few more adjustments we'll need to do on this photo. We've got the toy was placed on a sheet of acrylic plastic to make this reflection, and you can see the edge of the plastic around there, and there's also a bit of the edge of it down here as well. So we just need to get rid of that. So to do that, I'm going to go up to Create New Fill or Adjustment Layer and choose Solid Colour. I'm going to choose White, press OK, and then clicking in the Layer Mask thumbnail, you can see I've got black as my background colour. I'm just going to press Control and Backspace on the keyboard to fill the layer mask with black, and that hides it. And then with white as my foreground colour, so on a layer mask, black hides, white reveals. I'm just going to paint over some of this area that's not pure white in our photo. So just going to press Control and plus a couple of times on the keyboard to zoom in. And you can see, if I just go on the brush settings, you can see I've got quite a soft brush that I'm using. Just using the bracket keys on the keyboard to adjust the size of the brush. Oops, gone a bit too far there. Just pressing Control and Z to undo. And then we've got a bit more over here. Just make my brush a bit smaller. Okay, now so I press Control and 0 to zoom out to full size, and the next thing I'm going to do is use a threshold and put this up to 255, which is pure white. And what this does is anything that is below 255 pure white will show up as black. So it makes it easy for us to see in our image which parts aren't pure white, and so we can correct them to make them pure white. So you can see I've missed a bit of background over here, so just need to go back on this colour layer. And there's a bit down here, a bit over here, a bit there. Right, next thing I'm going to do is go to the adjustment layers again, and I'm going to use a levels. Just if I show you, you can see on the threshold that bit down there and around here and here showing up as not pure white when really they should be pure white. So if I go to levels, normally in the full version of Photoshop I'd use a curves adjustment. It's just my personal preference, I prefer that over levels, but you don't get that in Photoshop Elements, so just using levels here. And I'm just dragging the white point down until we get all the bit that we want white showing up white. So I'm just going to close that. Now again, I'm going to press Control and Backspace on the layer mask for the levels adjustment to fill it with black and hide the adjustment. And then I'm just going to use the brush with white to paint back in the adjustment where we want it. It's just over here. And going down here a bit. And that all looks okay now. So we can get rid of this threshold, and you can see we've got a nice image with the toy on a completely white background, and the toy is exposed properly, and this was done with only using one light.